to not miss anything, and it wouldn't be right if I make sure y'all get a 15-minute break. Anybody need to go use the bathroom or freshen up? All right. Well, the reason why I'm going to tell you there's a process. I'm going to explain that process because I want you to, like I say, there's a lot of reasons. But like I said, when I give you the reason, there's still other stuff that you have to do. Don't just take what I say and think that that's just it, because I could tell you all day, but then there's another step. But basically, the way it works when you default on something, which is why our credit scores are low. In that collection section, we have something in there that we didn't pay, whether it's a light bill, whatever. Okay? We didn't pay the bill. Okay? Now, debt collector's calling you. Okay? And what do we do when a debt collector calls us? We look at the phone, we run from them, we're not doing that no more. I'm serious. You don't owe them. It's a matter of you taking the time to prove to yourself, to prove to them that you don't owe them. It's just that simple. Okay? If you have a credit card bill that you didn't pay, the process works like this. The company writes the debt off. They do what they call a charge-off. And if you're a business owner, you know at the end of the year that you can't go into the year with a negative balance. You've got to adjust your balances, right? Well, that's how corporate America works. When they give out credit, they can only give out so much too. And that's another thing I want to tell you. A lot of times when you get denied for credit, it may not be because you got bad credit. It's because that lender can't lend. They lend it out to the max. They got to wait till that next fiscal year to start over again. So you definitely always want to know the reason why you get denied for credit. And I learned this because I had an 800 and I got denied for things. Understand how much of a battle this is. You got it? Bad people, right? Okay, let's go. Okay. We got good, bad. Got evil. All right, but this is what I want you to get. Okay, you got the children of God and those who not really the children of God. Okay, so visualize this whole earth as jurisdiction. The jurisdiction, like Miss Pat said, who owns this world? And now you want to visualize, who wants to destroy all the people in this world? What side? Bad side. Because we all doing work, right? All right. This is how it all breaks down. Where you know your money is concerned and poverty is concerned. Because it's all about you being destroyed, losing your job so you can eat, so you can just fall out and be gone. Y'all know that, right? Devil don't want y'all alive. Y'all got too much to do. All right, but there is land and there is sea. That's how this whole world operates, ladies and gentlemen. We have land and we have sea. So we already know who owns the land, right? Okay. The laws of this country are mostly of the sea. So what do you think about that? You go into court and you going, be it criminal or civil, I'm just getting out of, I want you to understand that this is just a spiritual thing, okay? This is a spiritual thing, okay? Everything in here, jurisdiction, it all belongs to these two. It goes down to these two things. So we as children of God, we want to be always over here. Land, which is any law, anything that's of God, supreme laws. When we get into any trouble, civil or criminal, we need to look up these laws. Okay? If you stay over here and you got an attorney that's working on the laws of the seas, you're in big trouble. I'm going to give y'all a great example of that. Anybody know the statistics on black people in prison? Over 50%, right? Okay, you know why they in there? The attorneys had them over here. under statutes, ordinance, code. Once that court give you that judgment, okay, guess what? But I'm here to tell you, and I'll talk about that case later. Kissimmee case. Pastor, prominent pastor. He called me. Had he not been my client, and I had not educated him for the year prior, we won that case. They didn't get jack. They didn't get $1. You know what they do? When they know you got some education behind you, you know what they do? They remove the case. They dismiss it.
They don't want to deal with it.
They ain't even finna argue with you. Because you showing up and you fighting back. You writing back. You getting in the conversation with them. $3,000 and something. This happened this year. All I wrote was 3 papers. I responded back after the lawsuit. After he called me the day he got the lawsuit. Regina, I need you. 3 months later, that case was dismissed. Had he not known what's going on, guess what? He wouldn't have shown up in court.
Or he would have gone to court and tried to fight for his rights.
Well, he would have went to court and
lost. Because an attorney would
Yeah.
have told him, yeah, but see, and because that's what they're taught to do. Their talk was legal, but not what's lawful.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. We talked about that.
Correct. And this is the problem that this is why we have to get educated, because the minute we think we're being sued, they only have limited information. They have no contract. So how do you think they're going to win a court case and get a judgment in court with no evidence? How are they going to win that case? Anybody going to guess? No. I'll tell you. Go ahead.
Don't show up.
Correct. We don't
Just
show
don't go.
up. We
If
get
you wanna
so
lose a court
paranoid.
case, don't go.
We get so scared. We get a file, summons our door, and what do? We ignore the summons. And guess how they win? They go in court. You not there. You ain't showed up. You ain't got no lawyer. You don't know what's going on. Next thing you know, you call Regina Littles saying they garnish my paycheck, and I'm thinking, where have you been for the last 10 years? Because I've been around 12 years doing this. Don't call. I'm telling you, I'm not even taking calls no more. Don't call me. I ain't helping you if you got your paycheck garnished. Because I've talked and talked and talked.
Yes, she is. Don't listen to her. Yes, she is.
Yeah. And they call you and they call you. You ain't got no agreement. You ain't got no business with them. You ain't got no contract. You should be saying, who are you? What you calling me for? I don't know you. What a contract? What agreement? When I agreed to pay you X amount of dollars. That's what you should be saying. You should be running away from them, and you should be checking your credit report when you get a call from debt collector to make sure they're not on your report, because it's a federal violation. If they don't prove to you that they owe up your contract, guess what? They violate your rights. So many of us let these debt collectors ruin our credit because we don't want to do anything about it. And I have time from North Carolina. Hired her back in 2009. She's going to give a testimony. She did something about it. And she got how much money?
$700.
$700.
I've
been telling you to avoid this forever. And I'm telling you, they are suing you, and they're coming after your paycheck, and they're going to do it. Once that judge signs that order saying that, I don't care if it's for an eviction, I don't care what kind of debt it is, if you don't show up in court, when that company sues you, which they can sue you, but legally if you go through the court process, they're not going to win, because they can't prove that you owe them. It's just a lawsuit filed. So our paychecks are being garnished, and let me tell you, your paychecks don't get garnished, your SSI still, right? So we're not being penalized. Okay? Dispute letter. We have to write a dispute letter. We have to dispute. If we don't say anything, guess what's going to happen? It's going to sit there. We have to dispute with the credit bureaus. We have to write them a simple letter, and they'll dispute. Wait for it to come back. Then we have to write the debt collector. We have to do 2 things with 1 account. Credit bureaus, which falls under the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act, FDCPA, which falls up under debt collectors. That's what the debt collectors cannot do. Then we got the Fair Credit Reporting Act that says how the account should be reported. Now I'm going to give you some sample violations. Because they report the account is open. That's a violation. Did you open an account with them? There's a difference between a debt collector account and a credit card company. Because the credit card company or whoever, bad cop, you went and you opened that account. You see the difference? So it reported as an open. But a debt collector account, you didn't open. They just put it on there. So So that means if they put something on your credit report that you didn't open, it's a violation. And it's another violation because you should be saying to yourself, how did you get my social security number? Which is a privacy. It violates privacy. Your right to privacy, which is a $10,000 violation. Because you should be saying, how you got my social security number? To report it. There's another violation because before they even report it to your file, they do what they call an inquiry, where they inquire, it's like you applying for credit. That's what they call inquiry. And that's what they do constantly, which affects your credit score. So these are just like 3 violations of I'm just trying to give you to understand on what these debt collectors are doing when they report any type of account to your file. Okay? But there's 1,000 of them. And I'll probably be going over a violations class here in Orlando for free with my co-buddy back there. He's going to be doing that class next year that I was saying. Every month I'm going to do a different class to make sure that we all get the right information, get the information that we need for free. You just give a donation to that charity and that's it. So you'll get all that stuff for free. Alright, so and any questions that you have that you came here specifically to get, write it down on a piece of paper. Because at the end, I'm going to just answer those questions to speed stuff up. And then at the end, if you have a question, I'll answer it. But 30 minutes, the last 30 minutes, we're going to do question and answers. But I want to get specific questions that you probably came here to get. I don't want you to leave this workshop and not get what you came here for. Okay, so can we, anybody assistance from y'all, get a piece of paper, pass it, and just write a question that you might want the answer to in case I don't get to that part. Is that fair? All right. You just, all that money they owe you, they get lost. It's just that simple. When you get so fed up to the point where you fed up and they won't get right or get straight, guess what? We're writing a violation right. That's the stage we get to. And so a lot of y'all who I send letters and we do letters and letters and letters, I like to build evidence up. We sent this letter, we sent this letter. They don't know what you're doing because they just think you're sending letters. But we building up our case because when it's time to file a case in federal court, which is where you're going to file it, federal court going to give you the most money. State court ain't going to give you jack. File a federal case and it's all the violations because they're on your credit report. They're right there. They can't get out of it because the violations are on your credit report. It's just that simple. Okay? So I want to get into how you talk to a debt collector because we mess up. We can't get that money that's owed to us because they screwed up because we screwed up on the phone. So we're going to find a video on how you talk to a debt collector. But I'm trying to do it in my head with 2 people. I'm going to be the debt collector and person. But anytime a debt collector calls you, you should be thinking, what's your address, what's your address, what's your address, and who are you? Where's your address? Because you want to have a valid address. Criminals, which is what I call these debt collectors, they are criminals. They are white-collar criminals. They run and change addresses just like real criminals. So you have to learn how to track them. We got to learn how to track them so when it's time for us to sue them, we know where they're at. Okay? So that story about, hi Susan, can I speak to Susan? And what's your address? Oh ma'am, I'm just calling you about this bill that you accrued in the hospital. Do you remember? They'll say all kind of crazy things to throw you off track. Ma'am, who are you and what's your address? If you remember those 2, ma'am, who are you and what's your address? And if you get lost, ma'am, you get sweet with them. I say, try to make them think you're on that side. Ma'am, I can't remember. Can you just send me proof of what you're talking about? Can you just send me what you're talking about so I can review it? You have to try to learn how to play the reverse psychology role on them so you can get what you want. Okay? Because when they mail you that proof, which is mail fraud, when anybody demands mail from you through the mail, that's mail fraud. How many of you know that? So those debt collection letters, that's why I tell y'all to keep all those debt collection letters. Every time they send you a letter, that is money. Did you know that?
Say that again, Miss.
Every time you get a debt collector letter that y'all probably throw away or y'all don't read or y'all throw on the table, that is moolah.
I need to find that.
It's called mail fraud. If you look at the definition of mail fraud or extortion, that's why I said this is white collar crimes, because most people are not educated on white collar criminal activity. That's what I went to school for. But if someone says, that's like if somebody says, give me $10,000, I got your child. They make an accusation through the mail saying they want money that you don't owe them. That's mail fraud. And I used to remember all people calling. You want them to call you. I love for them to call me because I'm trying to catch them. I want some money. You gonna pay me? That's the mindset you want to get to. Okay? But never say, Mom, send me $20 a month or I'll sell $50. No, we ain't making no payment arrangements on nothing that we don't owe before you prove to me that I owe it. It's just that simple. So you just got to learn how to think. Evidence, we collect evidence, and review. So when you do your intent to sue letter, which is after you collected all the evidence, you will have a successful case in court. All right, and then, so that's really how you get rid of them, really. So there's a lot of other ways you can get rid of them. But think about it. If they're calling you for $300 and you turn around and say you owe me $10,000 because you're in violation, what you think they're going to do? You're going to get lost. They're going to delete that thing off your credit report. It's just that simple. Because now it's shifted. You call me for $300, but you done violated all these rights that's worth $10,000 or $20,000 to me. Right. Mary is going to do debt validation. I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to do, there's 12 sections on your credit report. It's very, very important that we understand the 12 sections on our credit report. And let me tell you why. Each section is worth points. Each section of your credit report is worth points. So when you try to get that 800 or you 700 or you trying to get 50 points, I can pretty much look at your file and say, okay, we got to get 20 points over here. Okay, but I'm going to come and highlight the sections on your credit report where the most points are and where we need to do the most work. Okay, debt validation. Mary Norris, y'all. The statute. We live in the Sunshine State and we see the buckle up is the law. No, it ain't the law. It's not under there. God didn't make no buckle up law. That's a statute. You see how you get confused? The enemy is all about confusing you. That's why y'all got to be armored up. It ain't no buckle up is the law. It's buckle up is a statute. And if you don't put your seatbelt on, guess what's going to happen? You're going to pay a fee under a statute, not a law. So that's why I want you to understand why you don't owe debt. Going back to that. It's over here. And you're a child of God. So what you need to be using, anytime something comes at you, what law you need to be under? It says laws of the land. I have a copy of, and this is why these classes that I'm going to be teaching next year is so important, because I teach the criminal and the civil, because we got folks we got our kids. How many of you know if you got a child and he get arrested and he in jail, you don't know what to do, you don't want to go to jail, you don't know what to do, you just listening to this lawyer that's going to say plead him out and let him do 2 or 3 years. That's what's happening, y'all. It's serious. It's really serious. I'm looking for my right to travel, because I be telling people, y'all better get where I'm at, because I ain't paying no tickets in this country. I don't have my right to travel. I thought I had it. But anyway, I have what they call, can you get my wallet on my ID? I want to show y'all something. This is why education is important. I carry what they call a right to travel. I'm getting off subject because I want you to understand. They created English for us, and that's why we go to school and learn English. What we really need to know is Latin. That's why we got the synonyms and antonyms and all these crazy words that mean the same thing. I'm serious. You gotta understand what's going on and what has happened over the years. The education is controlled, so you're only gonna know what they teach you. If you don't educate yourself to arm yourself up to go past high school, You're not going to be able to know what's going on in a college or a school or a bachelor. You're not going to know. It's just a total different land. Well, it's the same thing here. Y'all done got out of college, some of y'all. It's time to take it to another level so you know how to protect yourself in this land, which is God's land. But 1-308 is a subject I teach, and like I said, we got behind, and we're not going to do that today. But I wanted to show you what this is. When I signed my driver's license, I signed Regina Littles, ARR. Write it down. All rights reserved. ARR stand for all rights reserved. That means I'm reserving my father's rights. I'm standing on the promises God gave me and what he said. So that's what ARR means.
Say it again.
All rights reserved. My father's rights. My God-given rights. If you had a piece of land back in the day, you had a right to travel. You owned land back in the day, you were free. You wasn't under no master. Okay? Well, that's why education is so important. I'm going to pass my license around because I want you to show, you got to understand how to articulate and break that word down with what man has created so you can argue that stuff. Because y'all already know, when we come down to church stuff, we get on Facebook, everybody want to argue about the word. Okay? We need to be arguing with the right folk.
That's right. That's right.
Seriously. Okay. But anyway, I have a form back there now. I have a right to travel. It's travel. It's not drive. You're traveling on God's land. Right. So you have to learn how to get the terminology right. You have a driver's license? No, I have a right to travel. I have a right to travel. I have my forms. They are filled out. And when I sign my license, it says, all right. We got people with license can't drive, license suspended, all this craziness that keep us in bondage. All because we don't know the laws of the land. And what's crazy is we go to church every